Hey there boys, it's me Dusky, and today we're going to be doing an r/EntitledParents video. I hope you like, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, enjoy folks. Hey folks, our first story is a long one. Your yard is now our park. My partner and I purchased a house next door to my best friend. I had lived with him for close to a decade when his kids were babies, so they viewed my house as an extension of theirs. We were in and out all day, every day. I have a more flexible schedule than he and his wife, so I have them in the mornings after school, and so on. On days off school, I had a pool in my yard, and because my friend's kids were still little, I installed a rectangle cover and made sure it was locked, so they couldn't open it. My friend's yard had one of those wood fort climbing walls and swing set deals, and a large sandbox. Throughout the year, we spent most of our evenings outside grilling, drinking, and watching the kids play, swim, or whatever. One summer day, I came home from work a little earlier than normal. I started to prep dinner and I heard a knock at my door, which was odd since my buddy's kids never knocked. I went to see who it was and discovered a mom and two kids who looked about maybe 5 to 7 years old. As I opened the door, she informed me that her kids needed to use the bathroom and I needed to come out and get cover off my pool. Now I was confused and asked her to repeat herself, and she said her kids needed to pee, and that they were so hot and bored when playing in the sandbox, so I needed to open up my pool. I asked her why she was in my friend's yard, and what made her kids think they were welcome to swim in my pool, or use my bathroom. For that matter, she got really bitchy, and told me that she had moved into the house behind us, and watched my buddy's kids come all over that time, so I opened the pool for them. She insisted I was willing to open my pool for the kids next door. I should do it for the children that live behind me. I tried explaining the relationship between my best friend's family and mine. She claimed it didn't matter, and that I had known them since birth and pretty much had to help raise their kids. So I told her no and closed the door on her. She spent a while knocking, fussing at me through a window, and then her kids pee in a planter at the side of a patio. When I still didn't react, she took her kids back into my friend's yard to play on the swings. I texted him to let him know what was going on. Right at the moment, he's letting his 300 plus pounds worth of ne, new without noticing the unwelcome visitors. The mom starts shrieking and climbs up into the fort, leaving both kids on the swings. She demands that we put the dogs inside. And how dare my friend let his dogs out into his own yard? Her kids are clearly playing there. He tells her to get the fuck out and calls the police. When the cops arrive, she put the whole waterworks on how her kids were just looking for friends, and my buddy's kids were somehow bullying her kids, even though they'd never met. She invited her over just to let his dogs attack her children, blah blah blah. They eventually moved back on their own property, then come back to tell her after she was warned. She lived in that house almost a year before she and her husband divorced. During that year, I had to replace the pool cover lock 3 times, a fencing company remove a gate at the back of the property that was meant to let the lawnmower through, and eventually pay a company to come check the yard anytime we were going away for more than a few hours. We found her and her kids in our yard repeatedly. She'd leave when we got home. What finally resolved the issue? My partner catching her in the pool. She told him she knew the man who owned the house and that he knew the man, and told her it was okay to swim. He told her he was married and the man owned the pool, that it's not okay to swim. She apparently had a bad reaction to realizing what she was immersing her son in gay water. We didn't see her again after that. So, I just want to say, I'm a bit confused. So, they went. So, I'm assuming this was in, like, America, because they have lots of pools in their gardens and they call them yards. I'm a bit baffled at the fact that, well, she wouldn't just use a public swimming pool, and the fact of quote unquote gay water, that's just a new one to me. Well, anyways, on with the next story. Our next story, entitled Mother Laughs While Her Entitled Child Gropes Me Repeatedly. So I posted about an EP yelled at me because I would not sell them a goldfish, and in an exchange in the comments I mentioned how a kid groped me one day at work. So here's that story. For a little background, I work in a pet shop. This takes place a few weeks ago around 7:30 p.m. and we close at 8 p.m. So generally we'll avoid pet sales in the last half hour or so, as it usually takes longer than that to do a sale. However, I was serving a customer who had come in earlier that day and bought everything they needed bar the hamster. So I knew they had the right food, cage, bedding, toys, and would not be a long sale. Starring me, the entitled mother, the entitled child, the manager, family member 1 and 2, a young couple. As I'm doing the sale, I notice that the entitled mother and entitled child are looking at the hamsters I was about to sell, and the entitled child is being rather annoying, loud, banging on the cage, and demanding to have the hamster. The entitled mother is telling her son to ask me while I clearly talking to another group of people. I decided to head off the kid. I'm serving right now, so if you can go to the till, one of my other colleagues may be free to talk to you. Also, please don't bang the cages, it really scares the pets. We just want the hamster. Can't you just quickly get it out and we can go back to serving? We have to go through a fair bit to sell a hamster. It isn't that simple. Like I said, one of my colleagues can go through it, but it's unlikely for us to have time to sell you one tonight. Then I got back to serving the couple. I am talking about the possible health issues, while the entitled mother walks till the point looking at the slightly annoyed. But oh well, she would be my colleague's problem. As I go through everything, the entitled child hangs around, but at least he doesn't bang on the glass again. So I just wait for him to move off. He gets bored, though, as I get the boxes out to check out the hamster box. The entitled child has the hamster. He wants it, is being sold, runs off to entitled parents, who is taking my colleague crying about how I'm selling the hamster. Poor kid. His mum should have brought him earlier on. Pretty sure he should be in bed by now anyway. Me, I wish I was in bed by now. We joke a little and get everything ready. All of a sudden, something touches my ass. I'm kneeling down at this point, and I think maybe brushed my heel against my ass for a moment. But it was a lot more pressure than that. I looked back and the entitled kid had stood there, his hand still on my ass, so I scoot forward and swing round, locking the cage door as he doesn't want the hamster to escape. Where is your mum? You really shouldn't touch people like that. I want the hamster. I'm selling the hamster to these people, so if you want one, you'll have to get a different one. Family member 2. Go find your mum, little guy. It's mine. Mummy says I can have what I want, and I want it. Give it to me now. The kid starts crying. reaches forward and grabs my chest area and squeezes my breasts repeatedly, like in a groping-like motion. Not as if grabbing my t-shirt, causing me to jump. Just as my manager is walking over, looking very confused as why a kid is touching me at all. She knows I'm not fond of kids. Where's your mum gone? They look around for her, annoyed as it gets towards closing, and obviously I should be done with this sale. Manager, everything alright? This kid has grabbed me twice. Groped her. Not like he grabbed your hand. He grabbed my bum, and now it's my chest. Just then, the entitled mother walks over. To her son crying, who latches onto her leg before she picks him up. What did they do to my kid? She sounded rather annoyed. He inappropriately touched my employee twice. She laughs. The woman actually laughed at the fact her spawn groped me. He likes grabbing people to get their attention for comfort, especially ladies with big breasts. He's a kid, it's not weird. I will know. She has DDs. They're not what she would consider big. It's weird for anyone under 16 to grab a grown woman's ass. And who are you? Why don't we just go over here and my employee can finish the sale? The entitled mother seems to sense and walks off, putting the entitled kid down. As she goes, he looks 5 out of 6, not looking very light. However, she doesn't hold the entitled kid's hand or anything, just whirls back around and tries to get past me to the hamster's cage, pushing me and harshly grabbing at me. Getting my hip close to my crotch, which hurts, so I shift, and the entitled mother is chuckling a little. Leaves it a moment before she gets her kid off me. Ouch, that hurts. Can you please stop? And move away, because it hurts. The kid is nailed. He's just tired and wants a hamster. I think you're overreacting. The manager says, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. We're closing soon, and your son's actions are making people uncomfortable. The entitled mother huffs. Actually leaves mothering, which is nice. She didn't yell. I'm a little shaken. She thought it was funny to let her kid touch me in such a way. I finished the sale. The couple were rather shocked the kid acted in the manner, and the lady makes sure I'm okay before they pay and leave with their new pet. My manager drove me home that night, as well as she sealed an older man and women groped their employees behind it, but never kids. And I had been groped before whilst working healthcare, not by a kid, but an older man with dementia, who also had a stroke, grabs you. Makes a comment about nurses. It's easy enough to brush off. No one ever laughed thinking about it was funny either, especially the families if they ever saw their loved ones getting it done. Anyway, that's it. Happy to say EP and EK have never been back whilst I'm on shift. Very nice. I think that story was a little messed up. I mean, why would you do that? It's really, really wrong. That kid's been brought up really wrong, I believe. That's not the way you should treat a woman. It's just not very nice. You know? It's kind of disgusting, actually. Oh well. I just want to thank you guys for the good bit of support I've been getting over the past few days. We hit the big 1, 2, 3 subscribers. Not a great number, but I mean, we're over 1/10 of the way there to 1K, so that's kind of my goal for a while, to hit 1K. I'll be making another video on the furry server soon enough. Yeah, I think that'll be pretty good. I have snuck into the ranks. Also, Y'all gotta tell me what you want to see, as I'm not able to mind read. Well, I'll leave it there. You can watch the rest of this Fortnite video if you want. I don't know. Do what you want to do.